All right, welcome back to Cracking the DaVinci Code. In today's episode, I'm be teaching you 7 techniques inside of Resolve that you're gonna be wishing you knew about sooner by how much they transform your color grading. Without further ado, let's jump right in. So the first 2 of these techniques that we're gonna be going over are both photometric techniques. And if you aren't sure what photometric means, just know that these tools are gonna recreate how light reacts in the real world. So the first 2 of these adjustments is gonna be using linear gamma for our white balance. To do that, what you're gonna wanna do is go over to a node, hold control, go down to gamma and set it to linear. Now, when we set our gamma to linear, we are now working in a photometric space. So any adjustment that we do in here is gonna be a little bit different than if we just kind of left it as is. So because of that, when we do our white balance adjustment now, what you're actually gonna use is the gain wheel down here. And all you're gonna wanna do is grab the point in the middle and just drag it to wherever you want. So I'm gonna kind of pull some of that red and warm out and push it kind of towards magenta and blue. Somewhere right there seemed to kind of give me the look that I wanted. And yeah, that's essentially it for linear gain and linear gamma when it comes to a white balance adjustment. You can really abuse this on shots that are poorly white balanced if you made a mistake while shooting. I've used it a ton of times to save myself when a shot was like completely orange or completely blue. Just pulling your gain in one direction really brings back all the colors how they're supposed to be. Now, moving on to the next thing, what we're gonna do is make an exposure adjustment. And instead of setting our gamma to linear to get to a photometric tool or a photometric space, go over to your HDR wheels, go over to the global wheel, and then the exposure slider down here is what we're gonna use. So my favorite part about this exposure slider is 2 things actually. One is that it's already working in a photometric space, just like linear gamma. And 2 is that it's 1-to-1 with stops of light. So if I were to type 1 into here, we've added 1 photometric stop of light to our image. And if I were to take out 1 stop of light, we've pulled out 1 stop. So really cool. And it allows you to make really accurate and finessed adjustments just by using this slider. Now, this is just for setting your base exposure adjustment. So once you've got it in a space that you're happy with, because we didn't set our gamma to linear, we now go back into our primary wheels and make some finesse adjustments with our gamma and gain. Now, you may notice there that I didn't say anything about lift, and that's because I actually don't use the lift wheel anymore. What I use instead is this tactic that I found with the curves and middle gray. So before we jump into how I'm able to adjust my shadows without using the lift wheel, you need to know how to find middle gray. So to find middle gray, what you're going to do is go into the HDR tab, go down to saturation, hit it 0, go down to contrast and hit 0. And then if you look at your curves, you're going to see this point going straight up here. If you have histograms checked to output, that's going to create that movement that you saw when we were making adjustments on here. And once you have that checked on, you'll see this pop up on your curves. If you create a point right there, you've locked in middle gray for your shot. Now go back into the HDR tab, reset everything, and you're good to go. By creating this point right here on our curves, we've now effectively set ourselves up to do a couple different adjustments. So the first one of this adjustment, we're going to affect our shadows. And to do this, all we're gonna do is drag this point up down here. And I just want you to watch what happens to our shadows. They're kind of getting washed out. Somewhere right around there looks good to me. And I'm gonna drag another point right down in here and place it back on that kind of intersection. That just brought back a ton of contrast into our shot while also not affecting a single other part of our image. It's solely locked into the shadows and the dark parts of our shot. And by dragging up this bottom point here, we're washing out our blacks and creating a really nice roll off. It's really filmic and it gives you a ton of control because of just how the curves tool reacts. Now we're gonna stay focused on middle gray and our curves here. And I wanna talk about split tone. We have our middle gray curve set up. What we're gonna wanna do is unlink these. So just hit the unlink. So you're gonna go to your red channel and you're gonna create 2 points. You're gonna put one down here in your shadows and you're gonna drag it down, kind of cooling everything out. And then you're gonna put one kind of up here in your highlights. Right around there looks pretty good. Now go into your green channel, bring your greens up a little bit in the shadows, and then also bring them up a little bit in your highlights. That looks pretty good. Now for your blues, I would like to start with the highlights. So we're gonna bring those down, pushing a little yellow into our shot. And then for our shadows, I really like to bring these up and then dial it back. Right around there looks pretty good. But you can see middle gray is so important when you're trying to effectively create a split tone that's going to transfer from shot to shot. If you were to try to make a split tone without using middle gray and copy and paste it from shot to shot, it may work on one, it may work on another, but it may not work on the third. And that's when you're gonna start to run into problems. When you're using this technique, you can set this up on a timeline level, on a post group clip level, and it's going to work on every single shot. All right, now moving on to the next topic, we are still gonna be focused on middle gray, but it's not gonna be focused on our curves. Instead, we're gonna be talking about adding contrast and using the contrast slider. And the way that middle gray plays into this is our pivot point. So when it comes to our pivot point, we want it to mimic that same spot that we had on our graph when we found middle gray by pulling out the saturation and contrast using the HDR tab. But the one thing that is a little bit complicated about this is that every camera brand and every color space has their own pivot point that works specifically for them. I believe for Sony, it is 0.411. And then for DaVinci wide gamut, it is 0.336. And then I think the other one that I know off the top of my head is Apple log, and that is 0.435. So all of those numbers are different. But what you're going to want to do to make this as simple as possible is work in a color space like DaVinci wide gamut. That's what I do. And that means you're only ever going to need to set your pivot point to 0.336. And when you add contrast into your shot, it's going to add in perfectly. It's going to go directly between the dark and the bright areas, which is exactly how contrast works. If you were to ask for a definition of contrast, it would tell you it's the difference between the light and the dark areas of your image. So obviously this shot is already pretty contrasty, so we don't need to add a ton of it, but about 0.1 looks to be adding a good amount of life to our shot, and it just looks really pleasing to the eye. It's not adding any gunkiness or grunge to our shadows, as well as it's not really adding any brightness or blowing out our highlights. Now for the very last thing, I want to talk about getting pure blacks in your shot. This is something that a lot of people don't really touch on, but it's what's going to elevate your grades to that next level. I know we just went over building a split tone, and that put some cool undertones into our shadows and into our image, as well as some warmer tones into our highlights. But when it comes to the black in my t-shirt and the black in my flannel and the black in my sunglasses, hat, and backpack in this shot, those are all truly black items. They shouldn't have like any tints of blue in them. So a way to remove that and make sure that your blacks are truly black, what you want to do is go into your qualifier, hit Shift H on your keyboard, go down to the luminance slider, bring up your high softness to around 0.6, and then drag down the luminance slider about halfway or until everything is keyed out that isn't black, and then hit Shift H once again. Go over to your curves, go down to luminance for saturation. Click on this black dot right here to create a point at the dark end, and then drag this one down. Then what you're gonna do is create a second point and then bring it over until you've created like this smooth roll off into the flat portion of the curve. Now, if we just dial this on and off here, you're gonna see we've pulled out just a lot of these blue undertones that aren't naturally there. Now, you need to be pretty careful with this one. It's pretty easy to accidentally pull too much saturation out and start to get like some gunkiness in your whole image because you're pulling out too much saturation. But as long as you are keying it out so that you're only affecting your shadows, this is a really effective way to just make sure your blacks are pure black. But that's it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something new. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.